Amorim issues major update on striker situation. Hodgeland's future in doubt as Sesko links heat up. Welcome to United News, your #1 trusted source for all the latest Manchester United transfer news and exclusive insights. When the big stories break and when you need to know what's really happening behind the scenes at Old Trafford, this is where you come for the truth. We've built our reputation on bringing you accurate reporting, expert analysis, and the kind of insider information that helps you understand what's really going on with your club. Today, we're bringing you a story that could completely reshape Manchester United's attacking future. It's a development that has sent shockwaves through the United fanbase and raised serious questions about one of the club's most expensive recent signings. What if we told you that Ruben Amorim has just dropped a bombshell about Rasmus Højlund's future at Old Trafford? What if the Danish striker who cost United millions might be heading for the exit door this summer? And what if his potential departure is directly linked to United's pursuit of one of Europe's most exciting young strikers? Get ready for the complete breakdown of Amorim's latest comments, what they mean for Hodgeland's future, and why Benjamin Sesko could be the man to replace him at Manchester United. The bombshell comments that changed everything. After Manchester United's impressive 4-1 victory over Bournemouth, Ruben Amorim delivered comments that have left the football world talking. When asked about Rasmus Højlund's future at the club, the Portuguese manager's response was anything but reassuring for those hoping to see the Danish striker remain at Old Trafford. In what can only be described as a major update on United's striker situation, Amorim admitted he simply doesn't know whether Hodgeland will still be a Manchester United player when the transfer window closes. These aren't the words you expect to hear about a player who was signed for big money and was supposed to be the long-term solution to United's striking problems. The timing of these comments is particularly significant. They came on the same day that reports emerged claiming United had made their first move for RB Leipzig forward Benjamin Sesko. Coincidence? Highly unlikely. This looks like a carefully orchestrated message from the manager about the club's transfer intentions. Amorim's honesty about not knowing what will happen until the transfer window closes tells us everything we need to know about the current situation. United are clearly exploring their options in the striker market, and Hodgeland's position at the club is far from secure. What Amorim actually said. Reading between the lines. Let's break down exactly what Ruben Amorim said about Rasmus Højlund after the Bournemouth match, because his words reveal much more than they might appear to on the surface. The important thing is that people focus on the goals and we suffer a lot because of the lack of goals, Amorim told reporters. But I think not just the goals, but the way he connects the play. Every time we have to kick the ball, we are kicking the ball when we are more pressed. The ability for him to hold the defender and to connect in the support is helping us a lot to play better. So far, this sounds like praise for Hodgeland. The manager is highlighting his contribution beyond just scoring goals, emphasizing his link-up play and ability to hold the ball under pressure. But then came the crucial part. I am really happy with Rasmus. I don't know what is going to happen until the end of the market. The important thing is that the strikers that are here are working really well, are improving, are helping the team, and that is the most important thing. Notice the language here. Amorim says he's really happy with Hodgeland, but immediately follows that with uncertainty about his future. The phrase, I don't know what is going to happen until the end of the market, is the key. This isn't a manager backing his striker. This is a manager preparing fans for the possibility that changes are coming. He concluded by saying, the important thing is that Rasmus is scoring goals. He's connecting really well with the team. He's improving. Again, I don't know what is going to happen until the market is closed. The repetition of, I don't know what is going to happen is telling. Managers don't usually create uncertainty about their key players unless there's a reason for it. The Sesko connection. Why this timing matters. The timing of Amorim's comments becomes even more significant when you consider that RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko has emerged as Manchester United's top striker target, with the club holding initial talks over the conditions of a potential deal. This isn't just media speculation or wishful thinking from transfer journalists. Sky Sports reports that Newcastle are also interested in Sesko, but the player is thought to prefer a move to Manchester United. This suggests that serious conversations are already taking place behind the scenes. The connection between Hodgeland's uncertain future and United's pursuit of Sesko is becoming impossible to ignore. Football clubs don't usually carry multiple expensive strikers in their squads, especially when they're trying to comply with financial fair play regulations. If United are serious about signing Sesko, it makes financial and tactical sense that someone would have to leave. Think about it from a practical perspective. Sesko would likely cost a significant transfer fee, and his wages would represent a major investment. United already have Hodgeland on their books as an expensive striker signing. Adding another high-priced striker without selling anyone would be difficult to justify both financially and in terms of squad balance. Hodgeland struggles. The numbers don't lie. To understand why Manchester United might be looking at alternatives to Rasmus Højlund, we need to examine his performance since arriving at Old Trafford. The statistics paint a concerning picture for a player who was signed with such high expectations. During the 2024-25 campaign, Hodgeland managed just 10 goals in 52 appearances across all competitions. Even more worrying is his Premier League record, which stands at just 4 goals in 32 appearances. For a striker at a club with United's ambitions, these numbers simply aren't good enough. Since his arrival from Atlanta, Hodgeland has scored 26 goals in 95 appearances for Manchester United. While this isn't terrible, it's certainly not the output you'd expect from a striker who cost the club significant money and was supposed to solve their long-standing striker problems. The lack of goals has been a persistent issue for United, and it's clear that Amorim is looking for more clinical finishing from his front line. When the manager talks about how we suffer a lot because of the lack of goals, he's highlighting exactly why changes might be necessary. It's not just about the raw numbers either. Hodgeland has often looked isolated in United's system, struggling to get the service he needs while also failing to create chances for himself when opportunities are limited. For a modern striker, this kind of one-dimensional approach isn't enough. The Serie A interest, a way out for everyone. One factor that makes Hodgeland's potential departure more likely is the strong interest from Serie A clubs. Italian football has always been attractive to young players looking to develop their careers, and the tactical sophistication of Serie A could suit Hodgeland's playing style better than the Premier League. The physical demands of English football have clearly been challenging for the Danish striker. His style of play might be better suited to the more tactical, less frenetic pace of Italian football. A move to Serie A could benefit everyone involved. Hodgeland could rediscover his confidence and goal-scoring form, while United could recoup some of their investment to fund other signings. From United's perspective, selling Hodgeland to an Italian club would make perfect sense if they're serious about signing Benjamin Sesko. It would free up both the wage budget and squad space needed to accommodate a new striker, while also providing funds that could be reinvested in the team. The interest from multiple Serie A clubs also gives United negotiating power. Rather than being forced to accept a low offer, they could potentially create a bidding war that maximizes the fee they receive for Hodgeland. Benjamin Sesko, the complete package United need. So why is Benjamin Sesko so attractive to Manchester United? What does the Slovenian striker offer that Hodgeland doesn't? The answer lies in his unique combination of physical attributes, technical ability, and goal-scoring record. At 6 feet 5 inches tall, Sesko brings an imposing physical presence that United have been missing. But unlike many tall strikers who rely solely on their aerial ability, Sesko combines his height with genuine pace and mobility. This makes him a nightmare for defenders who don't know whether to expect a physical battle or a foot race. His goal-scoring record at RB Leipzig has been impressive, particularly when you consider his age and the tactical system he's been playing in. Leipzig aren't a team that creates huge numbers of chances for their striker, yet Sesko has consistently found the net with the opportunities he's been given. What makes Sesko particularly appealing for Amorim's system is his versatility. He can play as a traditional center forward, but he's also comfortable dropping deep to link play or drifting wide to create space for other attackers. This flexibility would give Amorim multiple tactical options within the same match. The financial reality, making the numbers work. Any discussion about United's potential striker changes must consider the financial implications. The club is operating under financial fair play constraints and needs to be smart about how they spend their money in the transfer market. Selling Hodgeland would generate funds that could be directly reinvested in signing Sesko. This isn't just about balancing the books. It's about making sure every pound spent contributes to improving the team. If the club believes Sesko is a significant upgrade on Hodgeland, then making that change makes perfect financial sense. The wages saved from Hodgeland's departure could also be crucial. Modern football is as much about wage structure as it is about transfer fees, and United need to ensure they're getting maximum value for every pound they spend on player salaries. From a pure business perspective, this potential swap makes sense. United would be moving on a player who hasn't quite worked out and replacing him with someone who better fits their tactical needs and has higher potential for future development. Amorim's tactical vision. Why Sesko fits better. Understanding why United might prefer Sesko over Hodgeland requires looking at Ruben Amorim's tactical approach and what he demands from his strikers. The Portuguese manager has a clear vision of how he wants his team to play, and not every striker fits into that system. Amorim's teams typically play with high intensity and require their strikers to contribute in multiple phases of the game. They need to be able to press from the front, hold up play when necessary, make runs in behind the defense, and link up with midfield players. It's a demanding role that requires both physical and technical excellence. While Hodgeland has shown some of these qualities, Sesko appears to be a more complete package for what Amorim wants to achieve. His combination of size, speed, and technical ability makes him ideal for the kind of versatile striking role that modern football demands. The fact that Amorim is publicly creating uncertainty about Hodgeland's future suggests he's not entirely convinced the Danish striker is the right fit for his system. Managers don't usually undermine their own players unless they're planning changes. The Bournemouth performance. A farewell audition. Interestingly, Hodgeland's performance against Bournemouth could be viewed as either a reason to keep him or a perfect farewell audition. He scored the opening goal in United's 4-1 victory, showing the kind of clinical finishing that made the club sign him in the first place. Amorim praised his overall contribution to the team's performance, highlighting his link-up play and ability to hold the ball under pressure. These are exactly the qualities that United hoped to get when they signed him from Atlanta. However, one good performance doesn't erase the concerns about his overall output since joining United. If anything, it might serve to remind potential buyers of his quality and help United command a better fee for his services. The timing of this performance, combined with Amorim's comments and the Sesko speculation, creates a narrative that feels like it's building toward a conclusion. It's almost as if everyone involved is preparing for a change while being careful not to burn any bridges. What this means for United's transfer strategy. The situation with Hodgeland and the pursuit of Sesko reveals a lot about Manchester United's evolving transfer strategy under the new ownership structure. Rather than persisting with signings that aren't working out, the club appears willing to make tough decisions and course corrections. This is a significant change from previous years when United seemed reluctant to admit their mistakes in the transfer market. Players who weren't performing were often given chance after chance, leading to stagnation and missed opportunities to improve the squad. The willingness to potentially move on from Hodgeland after just 2 seasons shows a more ruthless and efficient approach to squad building. If a player isn't working out, the club will look for upgrades rather than hoping things will eventually improve. This strategy makes sense from both sporting and financial perspectives. Football moves quickly, and clubs that hesitate to make necessary changes often find themselves falling behind their competitors. The Newcastle factor, competition for Sesko. While United appear to be in a strong position to sign Benjamin Sesko, they're not the only club interested in his services. Newcastle United are also pursuing the striker, creating a potential bidding war that could drive up his price. However, reports suggest that Sesko would prefer a move to Manchester United over Newcastle, which gives the Red Devils a significant advantage in negotiations. Players' preferences often prove decisive in transfer battles, especially when multiple clubs are offering similar financial packages. United's global profile, history of success, and current project under Amorim all work in their favor when competing for top targets. While Newcastle can offer attractive financial terms, they can't match United's prestige and worldwide appeal. The competition from Newcastle does serve a purpose, though. It prevents United from becoming complacent in their pursuit of Sesko and ensures they move quickly to secure his signature. Fan reactions. Mixed feelings about potential changes. The reaction from Manchester United fans to the possibility of Hodgeland leaving and Sesko arriving has been mixed. Some supporters remain hopeful that Hodgeland can turn things around and fulfill his potential at Old Trafford. They point to his age, his work ethic, and flashes of quality as reasons to persevere with him. Others are more pragmatic about the situation. They recognize that Hodgeland hasn't produced the goods consistently enough and that upgrading to a player like Sesko could significantly improve United's attacking options. The division among fans reflects the difficulty of the decision facing the club. Hodgeland isn't a complete failure. He's shown enough quality to suggest he could succeed elsewhere. But he also hasn't been the consistent goal threat that United desperately need. Ultimately, fan opinion will likely be shaped by how well United's strategy works out. If Sesko arrives and immediately starts scoring goals, few will complain about Hodgeland's departure. If the Slovenian struggles to adapt, questions will be asked about whether the change was necessary. The bigger picture: squad renovation under Amorim. The potential departure of Hodgeland and arrival of Sesko should be viewed as part of a broader squad renovation under Ruben Amorim. The Portuguese manager is clearly putting his stamp on the team and making changes to fit his tactical vision. This process was always going to involve some difficult decisions about existing players. Not everyone who was signed under previous regimes will fit into Amorim's plans, and the club appears willing to make changes where necessary. The striker position has been problematic for United for several years now. Various solutions have been tried, but none have provided the consistent goal threat that top teams require. Amorim's approach of potentially upgrading to Sesko shows he's serious about solving this long-standing problem. What happens next? Key dates and decisions. With the transfer window still open for several more weeks, there's plenty of time for this situation to develop further. Key factors to watch include how quickly United can finalize a deal for Sesko, assuming they decide to proceed with the signing. The longer negotiations drag on, the more opportunity there is for other clubs to intervene. Whether concrete offers arrive for Hodgeland from Serie A clubs. Interest is one thing, but formal bids are needed to make any departure possible. Amorim's team selections and comments in upcoming matches. His decisions about who plays and what he says about his strikers will provide further clues about his thinking. The club's overall transfer activity in other positions. If United makes several other signings, it might limit their ability to spend big money on a striker like Sesko. The Christopher Vival factor. Inside knowledge matters. One advantage Manchester United have in their pursuit of Benjamin Sesko is the presence of Christopher Vival in their recruitment structure. The director of recruitment is reportedly trying to assure Ruben Amorim that Sesko would be a good signing, and his intimate knowledge of the player from their time together at RB Leipzig could prove crucial. Vival worked closely with Sesko during his time at Leipzig and understands exactly what the striker brings to a team. This inside knowledge reduces the risk involved in the signing and gives United confidence that Sesko would adapt quickly to their system. Having someone who knows the player personally also helps in negotiations. Vival understands what motivates Sesko, what his ambitions are, and how United can position themselves as the best destination for his career development. The risk and reward analysis. Every major transfer involves risk, and the potential Hodgeland-Sesko swap is no exception. United would be taking a calculated gamble that Sesko can deliver more consistent performances than Hodgeland has managed. The risks are obvious. Sesko might struggle to adapt to the Premier League just as Hodgeland has. He might find the pressure of playing for Manchester United overwhelming. He might simply not be as good as his performances in the Bundesliga suggest. However, the potential rewards are significant. If Sesko lives up to his promise, United would have solved their striker problem for years to come. His age profile means he could be their first-choice striker for the next decade, providing the kind of consistency that has been missing from the position. The financial aspect also favors taking the risk. If United can recoup a reasonable fee for Hodgeland, the net cost of upgrading to Sesko becomes much more manageable. Learning from past mistakes. Manchester United's recent history is full of examples of persisting with players who weren't quite working out at Old Trafford. The reluctance to admit mistakes and make changes has often led to stagnation and missed opportunities. The potential decision to move on from Hodgeland after just 2 seasons shows a different approach. Rather than hoping things will improve, The club appears ready to make proactive changes when performance levels aren't meeting expectations. This more ruthless approach to squad management is exactly what successful clubs do. They identify problems quickly and take decisive action to solve them, rather than hoping that time will somehow fix the issues. Conclusion: a defining moment for United's future. As we reach the end of this comprehensive analysis, it's clear that we're witnessing a potentially defining moment in Manchester United's recent transfer history. Ruben Amorim's honest comments about not knowing what will happen with Rasmus Højlund have opened the door to significant changes in United's attacking lineup. The pursuit of Benjamin Sesko represents more than just another transfer target. It's a statement about the club's ambitions and their willingness to make tough decisions to improve the team. If United can successfully navigate the departure of Hodgeland and the arrival of Sesko, it would demonstrate a level of strategic thinking that has been missing from their transfer business in recent years. The timing of everything, Amorim's comments, the Sesko speculation, the Serie A interest in Hodgeland, suggests that significant developments are imminent. This isn't idle speculation or media wishful thinking. These are serious discussions about reshaping United's attacking future. Here at United News, we'll continue to monitor this situation closely and bring you every update as it develops. We've built our reputation on delivering the transfer news that matters most to United fans, and this story has all the ingredients of a summer blockbuster. Whether you support the potential changes or prefer to stick with Hodgeland, one thing is clear: Manchester United are entering a new phase under Ruben Amorim. The manager isn't afraid to make difficult decisions, and the club appears ready to back his judgment in the transfer market. Stay tuned to United News for all the latest developments in this fascinating story. When the next chapter unfolds, you'll read it here first. Because when it comes to Manchester United transfer news, we don't just report the stories. We help you understand what they really mean for your club's future. The next few weeks could be crucial in determining the direction of United's attacking play for years to come. Make sure you're following United News so you don't miss a single development in this compelling transfer saga.